Hey there everyone, it's Timmy M70 here, and I hope all of you watching from North America had yourselves a terrific Labor Day long weekend. Mine happened to be a whole lot less frustrating than my last one, and if you don't know what I mean, just watch my video from a few weeks ago when I was in that North Carolina chasing all those aircraft. Anyway, the highlight of my weekend was when my family and I headed to Seattle on Saturday. And unfortunately, no, it wasn't to go to PAX West, although I would have loved to have been there. I just wasn't lucky enough to snag passes in the 30 minutes or so that they were available online. I did do the next best thing though, and that was spending the evening at Wargaming's Let's Battle Tour event. So I guess that would have been the Let's Battle in Seattle event. Um, anyway, the event was scheduled to start at 5:30, and by the time we got there at 5:45, the queue, as you can see, was already around the block. So, here we are turning the corner, and it looks like my angling's good, and okay, didn't have to bounce a shot or anything like that, so hey, we're all good. Anyway, the queue actually did move pretty quickly, and I was in there in about 45 minutes or so. So, not all that bad, really. So, Wargaming had brought in an operational Panzer III for the event that you could have a ride on while it spent most of the evening reducing many wooden pallets to kindling. Better than having them end up as some half-assed do-it-yourself project that someone saw on Instagram, I guess, but hey, that's just me. They also crushed a display case full of snow globes, but unfortunately I couldn't get a good shot of that. Speaking of tanks, they also had a T-34-85 there as a static display that you could have your picture taken on. Um, Now, from what I heard, it was also an operational tank, but they didn't run it since its tracks would just chewed up the pavement at the venue. But still, it was impressive, and it's a little surprising to see just how small it really is. Apparently, Russian soldiers were a little bit smaller back in the day. And of course, they also had rows of computers and consoles that people could play World of Warships and both the PC and console versions of World of Tanks on. And it was quite the shock playing Warships on a real computer, I'll tell you that. Now, the tour was Wargaming's way to thank all of their loyal fans and players, and they picked up the tab for everything. And Wargaming staff were also there and mingled with us, and I spent a bit of time chatting with both Meathead Militia and Q, who are the community managers for both World of Tanks and the World of Warships respectively. And hey, they're great guys who, along with the rest of the Wargaming crew, happily gave us their time and energy and answered all of our questions despite just finishing what must have been a grueling day at the booth in the convention. So, hey, thanks Wargaming. That was one hell of a party. So, what was I doing gaming wise? Besides this? Well, I actually bit the proverbial bullet and tried World of Tanks. I figured that the learning curve for me wouldn't be quite as steep since most of the commands and concepts are similar between both World of Warships and World of Tanks. Some of the other things, like concealment and physics, for example, not so much. Now, speaking of learning, there's a few videos on the World of Tanks site that are made in that like 50s era's instruction film style that show you some do's and don'ts for players just learning the game. And hey, they're funny and educational and all, but take a guess at the name of their subject in these shorts. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. Where was I? Oh yeah, right, learning curve, like physics. In World of Warships, it's impossible to have a battleship fall off a cliff. But in World of Tanks, it's a very real possibility. Whoa, like that. Yeah, you also can't capsize a ship unless you're already sinking, and by then it's already too late. But you can sure flip a tank, that's for sure. But for me, the biggest difference between the two games is the speed. Everything in World of Warships takes time. You're firing torpedoes? Well, you're waiting about a minute for those fish to get there. Main batteries take about 5 to 6 seconds at least to reload per salvo, and often in a battleship that's over 30 seconds. Making a tight turn takes a while, depending on your ship, and your turning circle is well over half a kilometer across. You want to slam on the brakes and duck behind the cover to avoid incoming fire in World of Warships? Um, there's this thing called momentum that says, nah. In a World of Tanks, everything happens at breakneck speed that often leaves me paralyzed with indecision. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get used to it, but for now, yeah, it's a little hard for me to wrap my head around. Oh yeah, and forget about trading fire like you can in warships, especially in low-tier tank destroyers. Boy, did I learn that the hard way. So, after going through the training missions and my dozen or so missions on the proving ground, it was time for me for my first random battles. And after flailing around for a while, I came to the conclusion that the tank destroyer lines, although the class name sounds cool as hell, aren't really my thing. Although I did manage to get my first kill ever in a Martyr 2, so there is that. So, I figured I should go with something a little more conventional and settled on the Panzer 2. And after even more flailing, just enough to get a few upgrades, this happened. So here I am in Winter Himmelsdorf in my Panzer II, and it's a bit of a small match. It's a 7v7. I thought World of Tank matches are usually around 15 by 15, but oh well. I'll take what I can get. And I pass this Panzer 35T, driven by noob bro, and he goes and puts a shot solidly into my tracks. What the hell, guy? Oh well. No damage done, and it doesn't look like he's following up on that, so I guess he's just trolling me, so I'll let it slide. Enemy tank spotted over near the center of town, so I stop here at this corner. Sniper mode, take a look. I see them, but no outlines, and they probably see me, but I don't really have a clear shot. So I decide to head out and take a shot to my side, and one more. So I try to get out of there, and I'm being chased out by a T1. So I fire a full clip into the side of the building there, because hey, turret traverse is a thing. But finally, the T1's taken out by noob bro, the same guy who shot up my tracks. So hey, we're good. We're all good. No hard feelings. Come around the corner here and there's a T2 medium who decides to put a shot into my front armor. I think I absorbed that. Come around the corner here, use the building as cover. Bounce another shot and another. Empty a clip at him. Hit him, penetrated a couple times, but nothing major. Reverse, reload. I think this is how I'm supposed to do it. Poke myself out again. Oh, there he is again. Empty another clip into him, and he takes out my tracks. So I can't conceal myself to reload again. I'm reload anyways by the time he decides to come back out, and I empty another clip into him and got him. Here we go, first kill of the match. Hooray! So I decided to come up the road here, and there is a CIV I think over there sitting at low health. So I come around the corner, I see where you're hiding. I totally misjudges and pull out right in front of him and expose my whole side. Holy cow! We both fire at each other like crazy. I reduce him to 32%. He tracks me. Empty another clip into the pavement because hey, turret traverse again. Reload. Where do you think you're going? Go to sniper mode. Empty another clip into him and get him. He had me dead to rights. I don't know why he tried to run away. But oh well. Anyways, we're being capped, so I decided to go up the center road to try. I know I'm probably going to die here. I know I'm 10 health, yeah. So I decided to go up here to try and at least get a hit on this guy and reset the cap, but it doesn't work and I am taken out. But the fun doesn't stop here. I have two allies coming up the road behind me, noob bro, and I didn't quite catch the name here, but anyways, he's in a Panzer II on very low health, worse health than I am. And with the two of them double teaming him, you'd think that they should be able to take care of him. They come up, take firing positions. The enemy decides to go after noob bro and not the low health Panzer II. That's okay. Oh, noob bro is taken out, but so is the enemy. Yeah, there he goes. And it looks like we had the lead, but then all of a sudden, he's taken out by a sneaky enemy who decided to follow up behind. So now it is one-on-one. It is an enemy Panzer II against our friendly Tetrarch, Jazz Drummer, who's already bagged himself one kill, so I'm going to assume that he's a decent player at least. And it looks like he's decided to turn himself around here. And misjudged the corner. And it looks like he's going to be heading south to the enemy cap. But the enemy has popped up behind him. Fires a few shots at him. Takes out about 15% of his health. Causes Jazz Drummer to change course. Run up against the sidewalk a couple times. But yeah, it looks like he's going to be heading to the enemy cap. And I don't think the Tetrarch is an incredibly powerful tank, but it is speedy from what I remember. So he makes his way over to the capstone and just a little bit more. There we go, he started to cap. Now, I don't know what's going on with my replay, whether it's a replay or my settings or what, but the chat is duplexing and I'm not too sure how to fix that. I'll have to take a closer look at my settings next time I'm in the game. Anyway, all our Tetrarch has to do is sit and wait and keep an eye out for the enemy. And we won, right? How much time do we have left here? Minute 13. And what are you doing? Wait, no, stop. No! And watch the chat explode as Jazz Drummer decides to go panzer hunting. I guess he was just too bored sitting around in the cap circle waiting for us to win, so he decided to take matters into his own hands and get shot up in the rear by the Panzer II, who sneaks around behind him again. He comes around the corner, tries to find some cover. At least I think he's trying to find some cover. At this point, I don't know what the hell he's trying to do. Well, he's just sitting there, out in pretty much the open in the park. Oh yeah, the chat is going absolutely nuts. And you know what? I can't say I blame him. I have no idea why he left the cap. All he had to do was sit there for about another minute or so and let the Panzer come to him. And I'm pretty sure we would have had that game in the bag. And well, it is what it is, right? He decides to go back up across the open park. And yep, there's the Panzer. And there goes the Tetrarch, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Now, I asked a lot of the more experienced World of Tank players about this sort of thing when I was in Seattle, and they said yes, it happens way more often than you think. So then I asked them, well, do these idiots get any better as you go up tiers? And the general response I got was, no, they don't get any better, but they do get louder. So anyway, that was my first World of Tanks experience. It's interesting to be sure. I don't know just how much I'm going to get into the game, but it's certainly something I'm going to be coming back to at least every once in a while. So yeah, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, give me a comment, and hey, why don't you tell me about your most unusual experience when you first started out in this game. And anyways, as always, have fun at whatever it is you're doing out there. Keep it safe, and I will catch you next time.